The June 5th, 2025 at 11 o'clock, we will begin our CDBG Citizens Advisory Committee meeting. I would like to make sure the cell phones are off. I want to call the roll call, which we need your name, but they're filming also, so let's start down here.
John Paris here.
Janie Evans here.
Jim Howell here.
Betsy Howe here.
Marion Settles, chair here. So that takes care of that. Let's get into discussion and action items.
Yes, Michael McInnes with the Community Development Department, your CDBG coordinator. Today we are finishing up on the Consolidated Plan and first year annual action plan. That's what today's meeting is going to focus on, with the goal of a motion being passed to move it along to City Council for July 8th. But before I start, I wanted to make an introduction to our new planning manager. Our new George is here. This is Alex. If you'd like to, if you'd like to come up and introduce and a little bit about, I'm putting her on the spot, but yeah. This is Alex Bramlett.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Hi.
Hello. How's it going? It's nice to meet you all. I'm Alex Bramlett, the new planning manager. Just moved here from Central Montana, and enjoying the lovely weather so far, and I'm looking forward to working with you all more. And you too. Yeah. You'll like our... I'm so excited. Yes.
Welcome aboard. Appreciate you coming, and you get a little preview of what we've done.
For sure. Thank you, Alex. So, okay, let's jump into this. Before we begin, just some background on the Consolidated Plan, 5-year Consolidated Plan. This is a document required by HUD. HUD is responsible for funding our CDBG program here at the city. Every 5 years, they would like us to update our Consolidated Plan to see what the city's strategies, goals for CDBG for the next 5 years are. So that is what we're doing here. We're wrapping up a process that really started back in last spring. So within this year, we've done a lot of different things to go into this Consolidated Plan. They've included workshops, public outreach, stakeholder input. We had a workforce housing forum that is included into this plan. And a consultant did a housing needs assessment for us, which we used information from that assessment. And of course, CAC guidance throughout this whole process. The last meeting we focused and discussed, we finished up on community needs and also the priorities of the CAC. Today is the strategic piece to this plan. We're going to jump into that, a couple different parts I really wanted to get some feedback and discussion on, and then kind of wrap it up with any loose ends regarding the Consolidated Plan. So, what you have before you is pretty much the final rough draft form of the Consolidated Plan. This is what's going to go out to the public on Monday if everything is approved here. It'll be available here at City Hall, online through the city website, as well as at the public library. 30-day public comment period that closes on July 8th when it goes to council for final approval. All right, any questions so far? Are we ready to jump in?
We're good. Betsy?
I have a question about the 30-day public comment period, and then immediately it goes to the city council. Is that a typical time frame, or is there no allowance for somebody having a particular concern that needs to be considered?
So that is typical, 30 days per our citizen participation kind of document, plan gives us 30 days for public comment. Historically, we haven't received any public comment. If we do, we include everything that we get in the plan. We'll have time. Also, the city council meeting on the July 8th acts as a public hearing, so it's one last opportunity for the public to come up and make input, and changes can still be made up to that point, if that makes sense.
While you're taking that break, we've had Board Member Ginger Cutting
Excellent.
come in. Thank you, Ginger. Continue.
Okay, I would like to, if you could, with the draft that I printed out, I believe page 99, if y'all could go to page 99. And again, just a couple of sections that I really wanted to look at, explain. So if you look at page 99, give you another minute. Does anybody need a pen? You got pens? You need, okay. So these are the priority needs. What you'll see is there's 6 total priority needs. It's very general, they're titles. The first one is housing activities, and I put a priority level of high. If you flip the page to page 100, we're going to look at a few of these. And description. Now, what do housing activities include? This is, first off, your minor home repair program would fall into this, as well as rehabilitation projects for transitional housing, for example, like a Gapi house, as well as a bunch of other possible things we can do with CDBG.
Michael, with this list, is it possible for us, maybe our next turnaround, to see a map and sort of where these areas are?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. In a couple of these things, you'll see, for example, if you go back, I'll try not to get in the weeds too much, but if there's a box to check on these things, this is a HUD program software, and if there's a box to check, I check it. I've learned my lesson that if you don't check a box, you might have to do an amendment in the future, and that's this whole thing. So really tried to check everything I possibly could. Going over to still on page 100, the second priority need that I have under there is public facilities and infrastructure, which is also at a priority level of high. And then if you flip to page 102, you'll find the description of that priority need at the top of the page. So here is your construction, acquisition, your bigger projects that it might have to do with the city. The ADA bathroom at the Community Nature Center is an example of this. We are going to do more stuff with the adult center. That would fall under this category as well. Number 3 is public service, also at a priority level of high. Well, the question might be, well, why did we put public service as number 3? The committee spoke a lot about the need for transportation. The reason for that is really where HUD, the allocation of money here. That public service has that cap of 15%. So the majority of HUD money is really more towards construction. So, okay. Beyond this, on the next priority is economic development on page 103. I'm going to close this door real quick. The priority level for economic development is at low, so this is the first time we see a change of priority. The reason for that, and again, all this is up for discussion, is it seems like the priorities of the committee were more towards those three first categories. And economic development, although, we still have it in the plan, we can still do an economic development sort of project, like a job training situation. We've done it in the past with like Launchpad or Boys and Girls Club. It just didn't seem to fit in those other categories as importance to this committee. On page 105, number 5 is priority need special activities and program support. This category is whatever's left over. So I wanted a category that really captured anything that we might have missed in these other 4. So again, trying to make... one of the things I was hoping, and a lot of this was coming from speaking with my HUD representative, is you really want to have a lot of flexibility in this plan. So if something does come up to you that wasn't ever really discussed in any of our needs workshops or, doing this whole consolidated plan, the option was there to move forward with the project kind of out of the wheelhouse of what we've talked about. Okay. And then the last section has to do, it's also a low priority, but it's the administration piece, which is my piece of administrating and planning the CDBG program. And then the last part is, if you go to the yellow tab, page 108, and I'd like everyone to just scan or read through that narrative on 108. And again, open to any feedback or suggestions. My goal here was to keep it open, keep it flexible, allow those opportunities in the future for the CAC to do things that might not initially have been brought to their attention during this process.
Yes.
This is Betsy. I have a question about making the admin a low priority. Would there be any response to that, saying, well, then the city of Prescott can pick up a larger chunk of your pay?
No. The answer to this, I don't know fully. It doesn't pay it pays for a good portion of my salary, the CDBG. But really, when HUD looks at it, as well as the city looks at CDBG, the priority is really for the programs of construction and public service, and still on there, but just not a high priority compared to those other pieces. So. Going to give you a minute just to kind of look through that or that previous section if anything comes up that feels like adjustments are needed.
Michael, question, housing, that seems to be the buzzword. And the committee out there with it, are we going to look that a little more seriously than what we're doing with our nonprofits?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good question. And the conversation with HUD, is it going to open up CDBG, open up to new construction? Right now, CDBG can't be used for new construction, which kind of hurts us in this space, dealing with new housing projects. What we can do, if there's a non-for-profit out there that wants to convert a building, an existing building into housing, we can assist there. But the new construction piece is still a limitation to this. That might change.
Madam Chair, I did a little bit of research when I was reviewing this. Last year, from January 1 until December 31, 107 homes closed in the MLS, and we know everything's not in the MLS, but their majority is. So 107 homes closed under 300,000. 28 were site-built. Many of those were in the wooded areas for recreation homes, small little second homes, cabins, that kind of thing. 28 were condominium townhomes. 51 were manufactured, and of those 51, 26 were required to be age restricted, which really prohibits a lot of our young people from living in the proximity of Prescott when it comes to affordability. The one thing that I just wanted to say is that average square footage for all of those, we were right around, I'd say about 1,000 square feet for all of those dwellings, which really just goes to speak to how small, many of them 2-bedroom, 1-bath, very, not capable to care for a home family situation. Year to date, for this year in 2025, we have 47 that have closed, 11 single-family detached, 11 condominium townhomes, and 25 manufactured, and 7 of those were age restricted. So this really spoke to me on the affordability of providing what we need. And I know I've talked about this many times, but it's just, I think that we need to get behind these nonprofits if that's the direction we need to do, and really encourage them to do the investment for rehabilitation, because if that's where the money is available, then I think we strongly need to look towards that, whether it be for emergency, homeless situations, transitional situations, or affordable situations.
Absolutely.
And that's an option. It certainly is. But HUD sort of leads us, and they're looking more at housing. It's not what we've been doing. And I believe this board is having a tough time with that.
Absolutely.
I don't know how we're going to marry the two together. And as you said, depending on if they loosen up with some of their regs, it might be easier. Tackling housing, I don't think we have enough money to do that. The nonprofits continue to come to us because they have their own issues, and it looks like they're going to be bigger ones down the road if they're cut again.
Right.
So I'm going to put this dime on you with HUD and still staying in a safe area.
Right.
What are we going to do next year?
And what I can do, Madam Chair, is again, it's regular contact with HUD, seeing what comes down the pipe from the Hill. There is a focus from Congress. At least they say there's a focus on housing and solutions there. Whether something like CDBG it becomes a vehicle that we can really, make a dent in this problem. Time will tell. We'll see what happens. So, but I'll keep the board, the committee up to date on what new information comes down the pipe.
I might be jumping ahead, but on page 113, it states that the population base is 48,000. And I think we've probably crossed that line, but is there a line when a city becomes a 50,000 population or more that HUD has maybe more funding available? Are you anticipating that our population growth will equate into more HUD money?
Possibly, yes. CDBG is actually reserved for communities that you have to have over 50,000 people. I don't know how we got this like 20 years ago, but I think it's because we're in a designated in a rural area, so there's exceptions and whatnot. So naturally, what hurts funding, and I'll try not to go off on a tangent, what hurts funding for us the most, besides a reduction in the overall appropriation, is more communities coming online and being CDBG entitlement communities. For example, Prescott Valley now has a CDBG program for the first time. Okay, so as more come online, money's not increasing. It's the same pool. More people are pulling from that. So, but population increases help. Prescott Valley got more money than we did. I think they got 290,000 compared to our 275. So, yeah. Okay. Anything else on page 108, or should we jump to the next section I wanted to look at? Okay. Next section is page 120. It's where the yellow tag is. What you have here is the goals summary. And what I want the committee, what I'm asking the committee for help on is the last column, goals outcome indicator. And if you look at that last column, and it's only a couple of pages, goes through page 123. Just go through that last column on each one of those goals and the numbers. If any of those numbers look, not right, or would like further discussion on those numbers, this would be the time. I came up with these numbers kind of looking at past plans, but some of them could absolutely be more. Hey, I think we can probably push this number a little bit more. Minor home repair programs in there as well. So I had that at 80, trying to do 80 minor home repair projects in the next 5 years. So I'll give you some time with that column.
Michael, can I ask a question? Like on the very first one, why do you have two answers then?
Why do I have two answers?
On
Okay, right. Okay, so looking at the goal outcome indicator, it's two different ones. So public facilities or infrastructure activities other than LMI or low to moderate income housing. So activities or projects that isn't housing specific. For example, the ADA bathroom up at the Community Nature Center. The next one, public facility or infrastructure activities for LMI housing to benefit housing. So those are more like housing specific projects. For example, you could put in transitional housing, agape housing into that.
So is this for 4-year period?
This is for the 5 years. This is for the next 5 years.
So with that very first one, over a 5-year window, when you have agape and pass and any of the other transitional housing, or I would think that would be emergency housing too.
That's correct.
Would that be veteran housing assistance also?
That could go in there as well. And there's two areas. Let me see. It's where it gets a little. There's another section in there that's actually more specific to emergency shelter and transitional shelter. It's on page 122. And I put the goal of 20 beds. An additional 20 beds, 20 units, if that's possible. To me, adding 20 beds to emergency and transitional in the next 5 years, I think it's achievable, but I think it would be pretty tough. And this is discussions talking with these different non-for-profits like PASS and Agape House. It'd be great if this could all change if they find a new project, a new complete, a rehab of an existing building that they're immediately able to do 25 new units. That would be fantastic, but I'm just not hearing anything as of yet. That minor home repair, I know we discussed it a little bit on page 121, homeowner housing rehabilitated 80 households. How's that sound to everybody? Is that, I know we were throwing some numbers out there on minor home repair, what we were trying to do. Okay.
Mike, didn't NACOG move to the county? Didn't they take that over?
For the, which part, I'm sorry?
I'm probably regressing down to 114, showing you responsible people that are part of this. So we would, if it's gone to county, would we be dealing with county with NACOG?
So I've done a lot of, a big part of this project was outreach. I know NACOG and the city CDBG have had a lot of connections in the past. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with NACOG at this time. I'm getting a lot of mixed messages, and they were honestly not a big part of this plan at this time. There might be funding issues with that program, or some turnover, trying to figure out exactly what NACOG is going to look like in this area in the future. So not as highlighted as much as probably in past plans. Okay. Any changes to the numbers in that part and the goals? That was kind of the only other place that I wanted some attention. And beyond that, I know it's a big document. There's a lot of data that HUD required. Is there anything from the committee, take your time, absolutely, that you would like to discuss further in this consolidated plan? The annual action plan is included. It's the last 20 or 30 pages in this plan. That's where you'll see the awards for this year's applicants. So I'll give the committee, Madam Chair, as much time as you'll need to go through this. Any questions, I'm ready to do my best.
This is Betsy. My hat is off to you. I did some quick math, and you have the services at 15% over the 5 years.
Oh,
So,
right, yes, yeah.
The numbers are good. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate that. There's a lot. There's a lot of going back and forth.
So this gets a vote today.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Madam Chair. So what we're asking for, to move it on to the July 8th council session for final approval.
So any lingering questions, any afterthoughts? It's a lot, Mike.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And that's why I wanted to focus on specific areas that I think needed attention. Again, I wasn't involved in the last consolidated plan. I was surprised. I've done a couple annual action plans now. I was really surprised of how much was needed for this thing. And but again, I just really have appreciated the CAC, you guys, all the feedback, trying to make sure that that voice is heard in this HUD document, as well as allowing that flexibility to kind of, do what the CAC wants to do moving forward. So.
Well, Jim Howell, I'd like to start by saying I think Mike has done a great job on his term paper. And it fully
long weekends.
encapsulates what we've done, as you said in the beginning, and what our priorities are going forward. As far as talking about the future, with what happens in Washington and D.C. every day with changes in the budget and on, I thought we were really fortunate to get a larger allocation this year. That was a blessing. And then you see other nonprofits, Meals on Wheels, cut this year. So to me, it's just a lot of uncertainty. Right. But I think this report is ready to go. I'd like to go ahead and move to approve the 2025-29 Consolidated Plan draft to be submitted for 30-day public comment.
I need a second.
Oh, and I'm sorry, and could you finish the rest of that for me? Comment period, and then prior to city council consideration on July 8th. Just the rest of that, Jim?
Okay. Okay, submitted for the 30-day public comment period prior to the city council consideration on July 8th. Is that?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, do we get a second?
This is John Paris. I'll second that.
It's been moved in second. Any discussion before the vote? And with that, I would like you to vote and state a name. I think that'll make it cleaner.
This is John Paris. I vote yes.
Ginger Cutting, I vote yes.
Janie Evans, I vote yes.
Jim Howell, yes.
Betsy Howe, yes.
And Marianne Settles chair, yes. So that's a unanimous vote.
Thank you, guys. Very, very much appreciate everything you guys have done. So that is awesome. So if you'd like, I'll go into staff updates just real quick, Madam Chair. Please. No CAC meeting on the 18th. So this was it. This is got me what I needed to move forward. Encourage any and all CAC members to be there on July 8th for the council session at 3 p.m. So 3 p.m. I'll make sure I'll do an email blast as we get closer. The more support, the better, for sure.
Wouldn't you like one or two of us to attend that July meeting if possible?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That would be great. And then our next CAC meeting will be August 20th. And at that meeting, we'll be looking at end of the year reports. So this kind of see where we're at with everything. Accomplishment. Yes, sir. 1:30 on Wednesday. Here. And then that's all I've got. What was that? I'm sorry.
August.
Oh, August 20th. August 20th. Wednesday. Should be Wednesday. No July. No June. So the next time we meet together in here will be in August.
The July date, Janie, would be the 8th if we wanted to attend that council meeting. So with that, I think we've done our duty. I would like a motion to adjourn.
This is Janie Evans. I motion to adjourn.
And we're adjourned at 1:35.
Awesome.